Welcome everyone to another episode of Dynamics Corner, the podcast where we dive deep into all things Microsoft Dynamics. Whether you're a seasoned expert or just starting your journey into the world of Dynamics 365, this is your place to gain insights, learn new tricks, and hear from industry experts. I'm your co-host, Kris.
And this is Brad. This episode was recorded on March 21st, 2024. Kris. We're coming upon conference season, or what many call conference season. And we are now, as the time of this recording, 53 days from one of the conferences that will be held in May 13th through May 16th. And with us today, we had Denise and Molly, and we had the opportunity to speak about DynamicsCon Live.
That. The doorbell.
Oh.
Well, hopefully the doorbell's fixed permanently. Who's here? Who's coming to visit?
I don't know. Is the doorbell working?
It sounds like it. It is working. I hear it.
It's working. Who is it? Who's with us? Who's at the door today?
Hello.
Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Hi.
Molly, Denise. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning. Doing well. How about yourself?
Doing great. Doing excellent. Doing well. Because just in 53 days, as at the time of this recording, DynamicsCon Live will return back to us from May 13th to May 16th in gorgeous Denver, Colorado. And I'm hoping to talk.
I'm not quite sure if I'm excited that it's 53 days or anxious that it's 53 days. But between you and, Eventbrite and our session system that builds our agenda, between those three things reminding me of the countdown,
Well, we don't want you to forget, and that's why we're here. But you should be excited to join fellow community members for such an educational and engaging in-person, everyone's back in person now.
Yes.
Conference to talk about all things Dynamics.
And Power. And AI. And Copilot.
Well, mixed with a little bit of Excel and some Teams and a little bit of M365 too.
So is it all things Microsoft, or is it just all things? I think that we're going to talk about a lot of things at this conference. But before we have the opportunity to speak about the conference, we all know who you are. We all enjoy speaking with you, and we all enjoy your energy at these conferences. But would you take a moment to tell everyone a little bit about yourself? And we'll go alphabetically today. Denise.
Oh, alphabetically. Well,
I know the alphabet, believe it or not.
Thank you.
I thought we were going to start with you, Brad, being B.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's right. Because I was going to call him Kris because he's a K in between.
Are you talking to me?
No, Denise.
Are you losing?
She goes first. She's a D.
Oh, for real. Oh, I thought we were starting with you, Brad, but I guess it's possible everyone knows who you are since you are the host of the Dynamics Corner podcast.
I don't know if anybody wants to know anything about me.
I do.
This is very true.
Go ahead, Denise. Kick
All
us
right. I'm Denise. I'm the program and event manager at Dynamics user group for DynamicsCon Live. I've been immersed in this community now for just over 2 years. It's been a wonderful wild ride. I have to say that everyone I have encountered, from working with the virtual event and then also being on site with DynamicsCon Live and meeting everyone from committee members to meetup leaders to speakers. Like, it has been such a warm and engaging community. And I enjoy spending as much time as I do interacting with them throughout the day, on screen, in person. Like, it's really been a great experience. And they definitely, our committee, our speakers, and our sponsors are who make this event and give it the feel, that larger community feel in a location that draws everyone to it.
That's great. Molly, I think everybody knows Kris, so we can skip him. So we'll just go from the D to the M.
I feel like we should come up with like a creative question, like get to know your host, Denise. Like a fun question for these two. Well, hello everyone. It's great to, I know. I think we're going to do that. Great to connect with you on this fabulous platform. Excited for this podcast that it's launching. I've been seeing more and more of it, so very cool. Love the Dynamics Corner. So my name is Molly Fuschel. For those who I haven't had the opportunity to meet, I'm the president at Dynamics User Group. As Denise beautifully shared, we are the host of DynamicsCon events, both the live and virtual, among our many other programs that we bring to the community around the year. I always like to tell people something that's outside of the community for me, which, like Denise, I think I am also pretty much always in and plugged into our community, which I love. It's such a great group of people and such a great ecosystem. I am obsessed with the color red. I actually have it on today, and I see Denise even wore my favorite color today. So
you must have coordinated, and
we did not. She's got the vibe to wear red with me today. And let's see what else. What's something else? Outside of my computer, I take a lot of my community calls. I'm a very phone call oriented person, so I spend a lot of time just connecting with our community members one-on-one on phone calls. And I've been getting in the pattern of having those calls in my training runs for a marathon I have coming up later this year. So my goal is to be able to have a conversation when I'm running. So I'm not there yet, but community calls are a great, very transparent place to have those. I tell people right away, I'm running. You're my help to help me be able to have a conversation through my training. So it's always a good conversation starter.
That must be difficult because
it is right now.
I did a lot of running prior to moving in.
You did.
It's difficult to talk on the telephone while you're running. I mean, you should be able to maintain a conversation if you're monitoring your heart rate and your breathing.
Yes.
That's what they say, but I don't know in reality if you can do it. But which marathon are you training for?
Training for the Minneapolis Marathon, so in Minnesota. Very excited for that.
Wow.
That is great. And how long before the marathon?
It's not until October, so I have plenty of time, but I'm one who likes to train early, and I really love walking and running outside. I'm from Fargo, North Dakota. I don't think I shared that earlier, but it's a little chilly right now to be doing those activities outside. I think we have a snowstorm coming over the next few days, which is a reality reminder that it's still March in Fargo, North Dakota. But I just really enjoy, that's my great way to get outside, is running and walking when it is nice. So
running is amazing. It's very therapeutic, and my limit was 40 degrees. I would get down to maybe 36, 37, but other than that, I'd stop just because it got a little too cold and it would hurt my lungs. Yes. Well, I hope to speak with you after the marathon to hear how you're doing. Just remember, it's only a race against yourself, and as long as you finish, that's all that matters. It's not a matter of being the fastest on the course. It's just a matter of attaining your goals and achieving your goals. I've yet to do a marathon, nor do I think I ever will. I did several half marathons, and those are enough for me.
Good for you.
As they say. So you are the president of the Dynamics User Group. You know, before we jump into the conference and talk about the conference, can you tell us a little bit about the Dynamics User Group, what it does, what its focus is, and where it originated from, and how long it's been around? I love loading up the questions just to see if you remember them all.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, luckily I've had this pitch once or twice before in the last 4 years. So I think I've got them all memorized from your questions. So we did originate in 1995 as the first open source nav discussion forum. So very, very cool. That was created by Eric Ernst, and he was a Microsoft MVP struggling with the product himself and just had that light bulb moment of, I'm sure there's other people out there who are having these same challenges and difficulties. It would be great if I just built a forum and we could all connect globally on these product issues and these ERP issues and solve them together. So fast forward, he did that as a side project and kept it going for years and years. And then our current owners, Jonathan Stipula and Jacob Roeder, they bought into Dynamics User Group in 2016 and actually launched our Doug meetups that we still have today, which is a very, very fast, rapid blossoming program that we have among the many. And then they took, in 2020, they were full owners of Dynamics User Group, and they launched DynamicsCon Virtual. They had it in their minds that they wanted to create an event and a space where people could learn without having to leave their homes, having to financially commit to a conference, particularly for our community members that are outside of North America. And lo and behold, that was the year that COVID hit as well. So we had started planning this just as COVID kind of took hold of our lives and we didn't know what that was going to look like. And so DynamicsCon Virtual was, the first one was in September of 2020. And from there, I actually, just a fun little side note I like to share with people, I think you guys will appreciate this too. I had come on to the Doug team just under a temporary contract for 4 months to specifically do DynamicsCon Virtual. But what came out of DynamicsCon Virtual was much, much more. This community under that followed Dynamics User Group, whether it was the forums, whether it was the meetups, whether it was that first inaugural virtual event, there was so much more that was needed for community to connect. So we really grew from there, and now we have 7 programs in total. So webinars, meetups, conferences, forums, many, many outlets for people to learn and engage, whether in person or virtually. And it just keeps growing and growing. We are at 43,000 community members today, which is really, really cool to say. Yeah, it's really, really impactful.
43,000. That's a lot of people.
Is that mostly here in North America, or kind of, is there
it's
like
only about 62% North American, actually. So it is a global community. That's why we keep serving that the meetups globally. DynamicsCon Virtual really services our global audience. So we just really keep our other members outside of the US always top of mind for us as they're learning their products and making connections and just connecting all up with the community.
See, I learned something new. I thought DynamicsCon Virtual, the first one, was intentional due to COVID, because I did attend that one as well.
Yes, it was. I mean, I have to think of the timeline, but I want to say they actually, John and Jake had just this vision to be able to offer this for free just as COVID was coming up. But, you know, when COVID came up, nobody knew what that looked like. Everyone thought it was just going to be 1 month here or there, and then nobody knew by the end of 2020 that in-person conferences were gone and all of that. Yes. So our world was quite different then at the end of 2020.
Yes, and it all seems like a faded memory at this point. Like, I think it was just like a big blur, a big blip. It was every day, it was 2 more weeks, 2 more weeks.
It felt like last year, 2 years.
Yeah, it did.
But it's longer than that, right? It just feels like it was.
Denise wasn't quite with us then yet, so we didn't have her to grace our presence. So she was not with us for the first one, but she was a little bit later down the road.
You've helped that grow. So thanks, Denise.
I'm still stuck on the number of users. I didn't know that there were that many users in this user group.
Well, community members, which is made up of users, Microsoft, and partners, just to be very clear. Yeah.
Okay.
That's still a good amount of people.
A lot of community members, which is a good fair amount of people.
Yes, it is, and growing every day.
You are growing. So you had mentioned the history of it. It started as a platform for others to share information or share knowledge. Which type of products? We talked about the conference, servicing or encompassing a number of different applications or platforms. What is the focus of the user group?
Of the forums, when you say user group?
Yes. Yeah. Or the Dynamics user group, or the forums, or the community members that they serve.
Sure. Yep. So it did start as an Navision only forum way back when. And then it grew from there to add in what was a AX, now FO, now FNSC. It also had power added, customer engagement now, and then we also added Dynamics GP to the mix. So we do also serve the GP audience as well. We do support them still and make sure that they're getting whatever they need. Obviously, that has taken a different road a little bit with Microsoft, but we are definitely here for our GPers.
No, it's great to
keeping
have
up the
a
support.
community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's great to have a community where you can share and engage with others, because even if you're, again, in essence, if you're working with GP and you're looking to go to Business Central, it's a good forum to go there, or talk with others that may have made the transition as well
Yes.
to it. So that brings us to the DynamicsCon live conference, which will be again in Denver between May 13th and May 16th of 2024. You had mentioned that the DynamicsCon virtual was the start of this, was the origin. This one is in person. Is there an option to attend virtually and in person, or is it a strictly in-person event this year?
This is Denise's baby, so I'm going to pass it right to her.
So DynamicsCon Live is exclusively an in-person event. This is one of those that if you want to gain the knowledge and see the presenters and ask your questions, you need to be there in person. Of course, we do offer availability for the PowerPoint presentations after, but you don't quite get the same nuggets of information and little tidbits of things, or hear other people ask in the audience with just looking at the PowerPoint. Right. But yep, it's a must be there kind of situation. There is definitely FOMO that is created by the folks that don't get to be there in person.
You know, there was a funny story when I went to the one in Scottsdale, and so Brad and myself and Kristen Hoseman, we were in the phone call one morning, and they were like, "Oh, I should have gone." You know, Kristen was going, and so should have gone, and I booked a flight, an hotel, 3 hours after that call to make it to the Scottsdale.
Oh, really?
and I'm glad I went, because it was pretty fun. Awesome. But you see what Brad and Kristen can do to you. They could convince you to go and just pack your bags within a couple hours. I was able to get a flight, get a place, and I was there in awesome. Very short notice. So it was a great event, by the way.
Excellent. Well, did you make it in time to see the donkeys?
I was there for the donkeys. Yes.
Excellent.
I was there for that one.
It didn't take much persuasion. You wanted to go, but again, you had the opportunity to take the benefit. It was interesting, because we were speaking, as Kris had mentioned. The next thing you know, he's like, "I have a flight," and then we spoke that evening, and he was there at the conference, and he was filling me in. The virtual events are great, but I agree with you, Denise. I think the in-person conferences, I think you get much more out of them. Virtual events are great for short bursts, I think, of learning, maybe a couple hours here or there. It's difficult for a whole day, because not only do you have the opportunity to learn from the presentations, you also have the opportunity to learn from fellow attendees. One of the big parts about the conferences and in person that I find when I attend the conferences, I learn a lot more from, not that I don't learn a lot from the presenters, I obviously learn quite a bit, but I also learn a lot more from other members of the community in this case, because you can hear and hear their stories, share stories with them, and also gain some new ideas how to become more efficient with whichever application or product you're using. So I think it's a great opportunity. Absolutely. So speaking of the presentations, you know, rumor has it, you know, as I read, I always keep up with the website, that there's going to be more than 250 sessions over the 3 days. Would you please tell us a little bit more about the sessions, maybe the number of sessions, the number of speakers, the number of attendees, the number of everything? And I'll load this up for you too. One of my most favorite, if you ever listen to listen to our conversations and my questions to others on conferences, what are we going to eat?
Oh,
That's a good
that
question.
is important.
Food is important.
Yes, good food is our jam.
That's always the major feedback that you get: is good food or bad food.
So if you want to breeze over the first part of that, feel free to do so. If you want to get to the food, we're going to take a little bit of time to talk about the meals.
We're going to take a little bit of time. Okay, excellent.
Well, you don't have to breeze over it, but if you wanted to.
This is true. Well, we have, for DynamicsCon Live in Denver, we have quite the lineup. We have more than doubled the amount of breakout rooms that we'll have going on simultaneously. We have over 200 education only sessions that folks can attend throughout the course of the 3 days of actual education content. All of our education classes run 60 minutes. Our presenters planned for 50 minutes of content and then 10 minutes of juicy Q&A where people get to ask their questions and get things answered and all of that good stuff. It is really exciting to see the growth and what we have and how much we've changed from 2023 to 2024. It's been a beautiful change. We also have close to 200 speakers, 200 individual speakers that will be there across the sessions. And of those 200, 62%, Molly, I believe, are first-time DynamicsCon speakers. That's first-time DynamicsCon live or virtual speakers. This is the first time they've spoken with us. And that is it's huge. It's absolutely huge. And we have, our speaker pool is filled with Microsoft MVPs. We have a lot of Microsoft MVPs that serve on the programming committee that help select this content, that curate how we lay it out. Everything is very thoughtfully done by our programming committee. They think about, okay, here's your first session, then you want to follow it up with this type of content, and then you want this type of content over here. So they design, we facilitate, but they design the agenda and how it looks and how the information is going to flow to each one of the attendees. So
that's nice to hear.
Yeah.
But they take into consideration the journey of the attendee, so that if you're looking and building your schedule, that you have a journey that you go through and the topics could build upon them. And 200 speakers, 62% first time, which doesn't mean that it's not quality. It's just, I take it as the addition of other great community members that have a lot to share. So anybody who attends with this, you have a larger gathering of speakers to share knowledge with. That definitely.
You're part of that count, Brad. You're part of that count.
That's right.
Kris, you are too. Like,
oh yeah.
Come on. Don't sell yourself short. Like, let's.
Yes, we're excited. We're excited. Our first time speaking.
Excited to be there.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yes.
Exactly.
Denise, you've only got one of his questions. You've got like 3 more questions of his.
Let's see. We'll talk about registrations. Where we are today. Today we are just shy of 1,100. And it is really exciting to see that growth every day. I have to say, I'm a little bit addicted. While I'm having my coffee in the morning, I log in to see how many new registrations we got in over the last, 12, 15 hours, however long it was since I checked it last. Like, it gives me a lot of joy to watch that number tick and tick and tick and tick up. As you all know, folks, we've gotten into a time where people wait longer and longer to register. So we'll see the bulk of our registrations come through, I would venture to guess, over the course of the next 5 weeks. Like, the next 5 weeks, we're really going to see that number skyrocket. This number includes everyone from speakers to our sponsors to the Doug team to our event team, people that are just curious. We have a lot of folks that register because they're curious. They're very curious. They're local to Denver. They're like, what's this all about? What is this community that I'm hearing about? Is this really a cult? What am I stepping myself into? Like, but what's
you
going on?
had to mention that.
I did.
I can't tell you how many times when I say the community, I have some acquaintances that I speak with that every time I say the community, they're like, the community. Right? They give me it sounds like it's it sounds like it's a cult. It sounds like you're in a cult. And I said, well, in essence, it may be. I think we are in this Business Central Dynamics 365 cult. And now it's expanding because you had mentioned we have the Power platform with and also customer engagement. So the cult is getting bigger.
Oh, absolutely. We have definitely learned how to recruit. Like, people could take notes. They could absolutely take notes on how to recruit for their cult if they just followed Dynamics and the DynamicsCon live events. The key is the superheroes. The key is the superheroes and the colors. Like that, you got to get that down pat. You can't be blah on those things.
That was one of the questions I had that we will get to. And you got to it soon enough. If you want to see if you can remember the other questions, we can inject a question here. But do you think you can do it?
First, I think we've talked about speakers. We've talked about sponsors. We've talked about registration. The only thing we haven't covered yet is the food.
Oh, okay. Now,
do you want to pause? Do you want to?
No, absolutely
do you want to interject,
not.
or do you want to talk about the food?
No, because the food's going to determine if I cancel my registration or not.
we did last year, I believe it was. We had a great survey, and we really, really want feedback. So for those of you that are listening, if you're planning on coming and joining us in Denver for DynamicsCon Live, please fill out our post-event survey. And in that survey, we always ask about food specifically. I think some conference planners graze over food, but it'll always show up in your survey anyway. So you might as well just take it head on. So we always do. And we had 9 pages of feedback just on food.
See how important food is.
Food is so important. But it is one thing to consider, and I firmly believe I do take into consideration how difficult sometimes it is to feed. In this case, you're at 1,100, and I do see a lot of registrations coming in closer to the event because of scheduling. Sometimes it's not so easy to plan that far ahead, and you have the opportunity to do so. But to feed 1,100 people at the same time is not an easy challenge to overcome. So food is important, but also you do have to take that into consideration. But my first question will be, do we have sushi?
We do not have sushi. You know, those seafood and shellfish allergies, they pop up more often than you think they do. So, sushi, sushi's no. But I can recommend a very nearby walkable sushi place that's not very far away.
I will have to get that recommendation, and please do not share it because I don't want it to be crowded when I go.
Brad will invite Kris, and that's about it to his sushi experience.
Yes, that's it.
We love sushi.
Kris and I will go. We want to be alone, and we'll put like a grade F. Well, Kris, I'm bringing the grade F sign. I'm taping it to the door of the sushi place,
so no one goes in there except
so no one goes in there besides us. Okay.
That's how I feel about taco places. Like don't mess with my tacos. Like that's my thing. That's how I feel about a taco place.
Okay. So let's jump over to the food. What food offerings are there as part of the conference registration? Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, coffee?
Very, very great question. Caffeine will keep you caffeinated. as part of the conference agenda, and as the week rolls out, we will provide breakfast and lunch on on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We also have an evening social with open bar and some light hors d'oeuvres on Monday evening for the welcome reception. And then we'll also have that on Tuesday evening for the community reception. So folks will stay nourished and caffeinated throughout the course of the full week.
We also have snack breaks.
Yes.
And sodas for those that Denise and I were just talking about soda/pop consumption and how that's changing in some places in the country. And so will people go for it? Will they not? It's kind of like the bar that younger generation is more, they gravitate more towards mocktails now than cocktails. So just kind of really being aware of all those different audiences. We tend to see our demographic is starting to shift to a slightly younger professional in our space, which is great. So it's our job to really make sure we've got all the things that they like to have at the conference all day long.
That's something that's important.
Nice.
Us old guys, we're on our way out, but that doesn't mean that the communities, the user groups, and everything will cease to exist. So we need to make sure that we do things to encourage younger talent to attend, participate, speak, and continue these conferences. Mocktails. That's what I want for this conference. I'm pushing myself to go for the mocktail. So
I had one of those last week when we did the Seattle user group, and that was actually pretty good.
They were good.
They
went right away. Actually, they were the first thing to go off the bar. So it's great, and there's such a bigger variety today for mocktails than it just being, oh, you want a virgin margarita? Here's, 300 grams of sugar in a little glass of just margarita mix. Like we've come a long way for the mocktail crew. Yeah. So yeah, they're refreshing. They're great. Light. Yeah.
I am a mocktail kind of gal. I am definitely that. I will say, for the folks that are not home to Denver or the higher altitudes, altitude is no joke. You want to stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. We'll have water coolers in all the places. This year we have a water bottle, so you have something to carry with you at all times, and keep that filled up with water, because altitude, sickness, the headache, the dehydration, it's no joke. It's no joke, friends. Prepare for it and stay hydrated. That's my... I'll get off my soapbox now.
I like to stay hydrated. So you did mention, so we will have a welcome reception on Monday the 13th. Monday's the 13th. Right now you threw me off. Yes, Monday the 13th Correct. Is a welcome reception that will include social networking with other community members, as well as some light hors d'oeuvres and some mocktails and beverages at the bar. Breakfast on Tuesday and Wednesday, lunch Tuesday and Wednesday, reception on Tuesday. Wednesday, yes. What are we doing Wednesday night?
Wednesday night is a free night. That is the night that you find your favorite community members and go visit a random not sushi or taco place. Yeah. Or your partner, if you're a user, your partner takes you out to dinner. Like you never know what could happen on a free night. And I'll
tell you what could happen. We took a
Chris
scooter
brings his
down
credit card and he buys me dinner. That's what's happening.
There we go.
That works too.
Well, there's some places that are very walkable from the Denver Marriott Tech Center. So lots of good things. Everybody is vibing for just the most beautiful, perfect weather that we've ever had. Like that's what we're going for in May in Denver. So absolutely. Brad, I think I might have missed, you did say Thursday too. Like we're covering
Thursday.
breakfast and lunch on Thursday too.
Thursday. Perfect. So
yes.
The welcome reception is 5 local time. 5 p.m. local time, 1700 on Monday. 5:30. Okay.
5:30 local time, 5:30 to 7:30 on local time Monday.
Okay. And then the conference schedule, I know Thursday's a half a day, Tuesday and Wednesday are full days. What time do the session start? And then what time? Geez, I can't speak today. I'm already all excited about the food and going. At what time does it end? I think everybody knows what I'm asking.
Okay, words are hard. I understand. Words are hard some days. So on Tuesday, breakfast kicks off at 7 a.m. And then at 8 a.m., we kick off with our first timers session. We did that for the first time in Scottsdale, and it was a huge hit. We were there to help you. All you first timers that are there, you come visit us, hang out for about 25 minutes and hear all the juicy details that you need to walk away with. So we'll start that, and we'll have our welcome session after that, and education sessions kick off at 9:15. And sessions, lunch, break will last until about 5:30 on Tuesday. And then we roll straight into our community reception on Tuesday evening from 5:30 to 7:30.
It's a long day.
It is a long day. So Wednesday, you get to sleep in by 30 minutes. Well, depending on how long it takes you to eat breakfast. Breakfast doesn't kick off until 7:30 on Wednesday morning. Sessions wrap up around 5 p.m. And then on Thursday, we're back to the 8 o'clock start, 7 a.m. breakfast. And then we'll close out the conference with some Doug hugs and goodbyes around 2:45.
Doug hugs.
Doug
hugs.
That's awesome.
Kris, you have to get up early. I get to start late because we're meeting in the middle.
That's right.
Yeah,
we're right in the middle.
I like that.
Do you guys want to talk about your session that you're giving at DynamicsCon Live? And when it is, if you happen to know. I'm putting you on the spot.
Yes, we can talk about those sessions, but I wanted to jump on this superhero cape, loud color attire that I see at these conferences. I'm curious to know what those signify and the origin of that.
Yeah. Denise, you want me to take that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so DynamicsCon was kind of a spoof off of Comic-Con, and DynamicsCon just immediately took a superhero theme to it. That was our first conference theme was superhero, and then it took different variations and event branding over the course of the last 4 years. And our first DynamicsCon Live in 2021 in Anaheim, that's where people were literally showing up in full superhero outfits, like the built-in abs and everything, the wigs, the capes, and it really just took off from there. So we kind of kept playing on that theme. I think this year that might look a little bit different. I'll have Denise confirm with me on that, but people like a good theme, right? And if it's not broken, don't fix it. So we fully anticipate to see our fully suited up superheroes. I keep saying that I want to see, we just hire some paid actors to walk around in like our favorite superhero costumes and just live on the theme that way. We'll see. Maybe they will, maybe they won't.
Brad's going to wear tights.
I like it as no. I do have a costume picked out already.
Those are called compression socks, Kris.
Kris will know all about those as he gets older. But I will say, I encourage everyone to register to join the conference. Clear your schedule; it's worth it. It's a lot of fun, and it's not just it's fun in a big party. It's fun because you get to meet and speak with other members of the community and learn. I find that I learn the best when I'm having fun, and I think others will do so the same, and you become more comfortable with it. I will say that I do have a costume picked out. I already have it coordinated where it's going to be shipped, so it will be there waiting for me. So anybody who goes, you will see me in a costume at a certain point of the conference, and it's relevant to a number of things that we've been speaking about over the course of this podcast.
Excellent.
So you will see it. It may go against a little bit of your superhero theme, It may be a villain or something else, but no hints here. But you will see it. So,
Denise, are we missing any superhero-esque components to the conference?
Well, we do also see tutus.
Yes.
We do see tutus. We also see themes of where we are. Like when we were in San Antonio in 2022, we saw lots of cowboy boots and cowboy hats. In Scottsdale, we saw a lot of cowboy boots too. We saw a lot of cowboy boots, but the tutu, there's always a tutu. There's always at least one. Always at least one.
I think people really gravitate and understand that approach of come as you want, come as you are, come dressed up, however you want. This is a very welcoming environment. I certainly myself love to get into whatever our theme is or how, whatever that looks like. I think people just feel very comfortable doing that at DynamicsCon Live, and we hope to keep that vibe going. So Brad, that right along with you wearing your costume and having it already picked out, you're right on my wavelength of picking out outfits early. Kris, what are you planning to wear? I haven't heard about your costume or superhero outfit yet.
Chris, I'll buy you. I'll buy. Oh, Chris. You can't give away things, Chris. You can't give that stuff away, Chris.
I was gonna dress up. Let's see.
New costume. New costume's coming.
You got a little bit of time.
No,
we got plenty of time
because we were going to be.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, we'll bleep this out. I am the editor, after all.
No. You can keep it now. I have a different costume now.
You every time you say, you can just do the beep beep. That way, people think you're swearing, and then you're like,
"No one's gonna know." Like, I'm gonna bleep it out.
What am I missing here?
No one's gonna know. There are 3.5 days, gentlemen. You could have a new costume for
every day,
and you don't limit yourself to only one pair of costumes.
3.5 days. I won't make it. I will be exhausted. I'm good for one night, and then that's it for me. Then I need my sleep. But it will be a lot of fun, but not to take away from the purpose of it is the sharing of knowledge. So it's 3 days with multiple tracks, just to kind of recap or review some of the things that we spoke about that's focused on. You're going to have a track for Dynamics GP, Power Platform, Dynamics 365 to include Business Central, customer engagement, FNSCM, FNSC, FNO, F, whatever you want to call it at that time, will also be there. And anybody who attends, the registration allows them to attend any track. So you're not purchasing a registration for a specific track. You have the opportunity to attend any of the sessions if you want to learn something about additional products or something that you are interested in working with, which is a key point that I like to mention with some of these conferences. The conferences that I find, and I speak with a lot of attendees, it's good to know that you don't have to be using one of these products. If you're interested in using one of these products, I encourage others to attend before you may jump into it, or if you're considering purchasing it, it's a great way to get in to see and learn a little bit about it and talk to other users of it. Which is a big aspect of it. Again, it's not just the individuals presenting, because when you present, everything's perfect, obviously. But when you get to speak to other members of the other attendees, you can learn a little bit more about the products and maybe some of the challenges that they had faced and how they had overcome those challenges to have a successful implementation. And with that, with the registration, we do want to throw in on the registration, you do have the ability to enter a promo code for a special discount. And with this podcast, Kris, I also was told, and I'll have to share this quite a bit more, there is a promotional code that you can use to get a discount. And that promotional code is Denise?
Oh, it's Dynamics Corner for 15% off.
Dynamics Corner gets you 15% off your registration. So we encourage everyone to attend and register, and please use that code because you'll get 15% off. And that's worth quite a bit, I think.
Definitely.
Any discount I'll take. I don't care if you give me a 1% discount.
That's right.
Anything that I can save and keep in my pocket is a benefit to me. So I think that's it's wonderful.
As long as you register between now and May 5th, it saves you $285 per registration.
That could be a plane ticket, so it's worth it.
See?
In my opinion. That
or
is
or
right
a nice
there.
hotel stay.
Or a ton of sushi.
Or a ton of sushi.
Yes.
Mocktails and sushi.
So that is a $285 savings for using a promotional code. Is well worth it. After May 5th, the registration does go up. Is that correct? But you still get 15%.
You still get 15% off. The ticket does increase to $2,000 on May 6th. May 6th, we're only a week out. So
what if you show up?
It's got to hurt a little bit to wait that long, like that long.
It's an expensive lesson.
It is
What
an
if I
expensive
show up at the door?
Yes,
Can I show up at the door?
you can
Without a
show up at the
registration?
door. Yes,
And they'll
you
let
can.
me in? Okay.
Once you
So you
pay your on-site registration
They
fee.
let me in. They let me in when I flew the same day. So I'm sure they'll let you in.
Oh, okay. So
There will be more questions. Like it could be like a screening process. Like it could
Face
be a
recognition,
little more.
the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. We could make you sign away your firstborn. Like there's maybe something more yet.
That's fun.
Well, some people may want to sign away their firstborn. So you may have you may have
This is true. Ask my dad. He'd be like, "Yeah, I'll sign her away. Let's go.
Jeez. Well,
one other
let's
thing
see.
with the conference, there is sponsorship opportunities. Are there still sponsorship opportunities available for the conference? If anybody would like to sponsor the conference, is that all full at this point? I know some conferences will fill up with sponsors.
Great question.
That's a really great question. We do still have some spots available. We have some individual items that are available, some branding options that are there. I believe that we have maybe 1 or 2 sponsor like exhibiting spots left. We are very close to selling out, but there are some few custom packages that might be available. You never know. We get pretty creative on the Doug side. Our sales and account manager, Bob Baresh, is phenomenal at finding ways to achieve sponsor desires. So give him a holler.
Absolutely. And one year, Chris will get a banner hanging from a conference venue.
Oh, there you go. That'd be great.
On there.
Dynamics Corner podcast.
There you go.
That would be at the
Absolutely.
Dynamics Corner.
You're well on your way. You're doing great.
We're yeah, maybe one day.
We keep it fun. As long as it's fun, doesn't feel like it's work, I'm all good.
Good.
It'll be a lot of fun. With that, Chris, as what Molly and Denise had asked before we wrap this up here soon, which sessions will you be presenting at DynamicsCon live?
All right. So I do have 2 sessions. It's basically making it easier to work with Business Central or implementing Business Central. So the first session I have is a Business Central adoption. Sounds like we have a good amount of people that are first-time attendees that are maybe looking into going into Business Central or what to do to get the most out of your Business Central after you go live. So that is going to be one of my sessions. That will be on May 16th based on the date that I got. Pikes Peak room, so find me. And then the second one is enhancing teamwork through BC, Outlook, and Teams integration. So creating that easy workflow of your business process. And so I'm excited about that as well. I think a lot of people can find huge benefits of full integration with other Microsoft products.
Right.
So
Pikes
how about you,
Peak,
Brad?
That sounds like a big room.
It's well, it does sound like a big room. The other one's Evergreen B.
It's a great one.
That's a big room.
You're in 2 big rooms. Holy moly!
I'm scared now.
You know, pack them in, Kris.
I'm scared now. How about you, Brad? What you got?
I had to look up what I'm doing, but I have it this year at DynamicsCon. Well, yes, I just have to remember what I present
It's conference
where.
season again.
It is conference season. It's a blur.
Yeah.
What am I doing where? Just tell me where and when.
Yes.
For DynamicsCon
Yes.
Live, I will be doing source control management of your extensions. That presentation, I guess we'll call it a presentation of a session. I'll be co-presenting with Henrik Helgeson. And I think that is on a day. Look at the schedule, you'll see that. And then I'm also going to do another one with Henrik, where we're tag teaming 2 sessions this year. 10 myths about test automation and customer projects within Business Central. And then I'll also be on the Ask the Experts panel as well. So I guess that's not really a session, but it's a good Q&A. I like those sessions. I did some other conferences, and I think it's a great way for attendees to learn and ask questions about the implementation. And usually there's a great panel, so it's not narrowed down to just a few specific talented individuals. There are many, there's a diverse group of experience and talent available to answer your questions. With that, Molly, Denise, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us today and talk with us about DynamicsCon Live. Before we conclude this podcast, do you think you could tell everyone a little bit more on how to register or communicate or get their questions answered for more information on the conference?
Go ahead, Denise.
Oh, great. Well, feel free to go to the website, live.dynamicscon.com. Our website has all of the information for hotel accommodations to book, to register. There's a tab right there. Also, if you are a company that's bringing 5 or more people, there's a great little button. You just hit a button and an email comes right to me for a group discount. And so we talk about that. So I have some group discounts that are available as well. If you have any questions whatsoever regarding DynamicsCon Live, Dynamics User Group, you can email us at info@dynamicsusergroup.com, and someone from the Doug team will answer you personally. No automated responses, my friends. Someone will answer your questions personally and get you to the exact right Doug team member for any questions that you might have.
If you are a big social goer, we're very active on LinkedIn. We're also on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok. You'll find us in all the places, and you'll see us talking about DynamicsCon Live quite a bit right now. So find us there under Dynamics User Group for DynamicsCon Live information.
Great. Thank you. And 53 days, register before May 5th. 53 days until DynamicsCon Live, May 13th to May 16th in Denver, Colorado. We look forward to seeing everyone there. And when you attend, look for us. Tell us you heard us on the podcast, and you may be able to get a special treat as well. Thank you both again for your time today. We truly value it. And we're looking forward to seeing you in just under 2 months.
Excellent. Thanks, Dynamics Corner team. Great to talk with you.
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon. Ciao, ciao.
Cheers.
You too.
Ciao, ciao.
Cheers.
Thank you, Kris, for your time for another episode of In the Dynamics Corner Chair. And thank you to our guests for participating.
Thank you, Brad, for your time. It is a wonderful episode of Dynamics Corner Chair. I would also like to thank our guests for joining us. Thank you for all of our listeners tuning in as well. You can find Brad at developerlife.com. That is DVLPRLIFE.com. And you can interact with them via Twitter, DVLPRLIFE. You can also find me at matalino.io, MATALINO.io. And my Twitter handle is Matalino16. And you can see those links down below in the show notes. Again, thank you, everyone. Thank you, and take care. Dynamics. Whether you're a seasoned expert or just starting your journey into the world of Dynamics 365, this is your place to gain insights. My dog just shook.